version that this is a version that I haven't heard before. So please, I would want for you to play it again. The Rotary prayer song, please.
Okay, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Chair and Jaden. As we fellow Rotarians and guests, I would like to propose a toast to the Republic of Ghana.
To the Republic of Ghana.
Also, as we keep standing virtually, can we please recite the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do? 1.
Is it the
truth?
True.
2.
Is it fair to all concerned?
3.
Will it build and better friendships?
4.
Will it be beneficial?
Fellow Rotarians and guests, let's always try to be guided by the principles of the four-way test in everything that we do. Good evening, and once again, welcome you to, I welcome fellow Rotarians and honored guests to another inspiring Rotary Club meeting. It's a pleasure to see all of you here today. Let's begin our meeting with the same enthusiasm and spirit that drives us in our endeavors. Rotary is indeed good. Let's reflect on the impact we've made and the opportunities that lie ahead. Yesterday was a very great day. There were a lot of Rotary activity. I was at the Dashiki meeting. It was really good. I mean, I put my best swag forward. There was CP Shika looking lovely, and so many beautiful women and handsome men, dressed in their dashiki outfits. We did a fundraising there. There was a lot of dancing, eating, and the camaraderie was very good. And I was very, very happy to be there. I also know that I think the Rotary Club of Meridian also had an event, Rota Way or so. I think it was a modeling event, which I wasn't able to make it to. But I'm sure that next time we may have to switch it up or switch it around. Are there any apologies, please?
Sure. Yes, I'll be one apology.
Okay, please go ahead.
Apology on behalf. Thank you very much, Rotarian President. Good evening, fellow Rotarians, reflectors, and guests. An apology on behalf of Rotarian Gertrude. The set is out of town, so she will not be able to join. Thank you very much.
I see. Okay, well, fellow Rotarians and guests, I also want to use the opportunity to talk to you about the intercity meeting that is coming up pretty soon. I would like to encourage all of you to register and attend this meeting, because it's going to feature a very renowned speaker from Rotary circles. which would be Rotary Kodo, your hand is up.
Yes, I'll be. Yes,
Please,
I have
please
an
go ahead.
announcement.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
thank you very much, Alfie. Alfie, this evening I'm very happy. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of Rotarians from different clubs here, and I just want to just remind them that their RPs have been served with a letter inviting them for a joint beach cleanup exercise. That will be organized on the 23rd of March 2024 by Accra-Spintex, and I'm only encouraging them to come partner with us so we make a great impact. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rotary Kodo. I also want to buttress what you said and say that I think that some may not have a clearer picture of the kind of project that we are doing. It's not a regular beach cleaning. This is a mechanized beach cleaning event. We've done a lot of beach cleaning in the past as a club, and I'm sure that other clubs may also have done that. But this is very special because we are using machines and human labor to clean the beach. We want to make a deeper impact and do more than we normally do. We're also planting 150 coconut trees and a lot of processes involved. We have corporate organizations coming on. We have Rotary clubs already signed on. Some are yet to also come on. And in all of this, we are shooting a documentary of all the processes. And it's not your regular beach cleaning. So please make it a day to attend and encourage your clubs to sign on as much as they can. And back to the intercity meeting, the speaker for that day will be Rotary David Ofosu-Dorte. And this will be on the 23rd of February, 4:30 for 5 p.m. Please, it's just 100 cedis. Try and register and be part of this meeting. I can say without a doubt that Rotary Ofosu-Dorte is a wonderful speaker and a Pan-Africanist. So try and be part of that. Rotary Kodo. Hello, Rotary Kodo. Do we have the object of Rotary taken care of? Are you going to do that?
Yeah. Rotarian Jude.
I don't think Rotarian Jude is in the position to handle it. So otherwise, we just have to skip it.
Oh, okay, I can do that.
Okay, please go ahead, sir.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Just a minute, please. Okay, so the object of Rotary. The object of Rotary is to encourage and foster the ideal of service as a basis of wealthy enterprise, and in particular, to encourage and foster, first, the development of acquaintance as an opportunity for service. Second, high ethical standards in business and professions, the recognition of the worthiness of all useful occupations, and the dignifying of each Rotarian's occupation as an opportunity to serve society. Third, the application of ideal of service in each Rotarian's personal business and community life. Fourth, the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace through a world fellowship of business and professional persons united in ideal of service. Thank you very much, RP. Hello, RP. I'm done. RP.
RP has gone missing.
Oh.
Okay, sorry. I think my I think I might just have to go ahead with the introduction of the speaker, Rotary Kodo, if you if Mr. Speaker is available, I think you should just go ahead and introduce him so we can go straight to the business of the day, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Alpi. Andrews is a multifaceted individual with a diverse background and a strong commitment to both his professional and volunteers endeavor. As a security analyst, he brings a wealth of experience from working in various sectors, including private, governmental, and non-governmental organizations. His passion for business development highlights his entrepreneurial skills, spirit, showcasing a dedication beyond his professional responsibilities. Andrew's volunteer work, particularly his role as the immediate past president of Rotary Club of Accra East, and past co-chair for the Council of Presidents, Ghana, emphasizes his commitment to community service and leadership. With a notable academic background, Andrew holds an MSc in Defense and International Politics from Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College, and a BSc in Business Administration from the University of Professional Studies, Accra. These qualifications reflect his commitment to continuous learning and professional development. Having worked in numerous African countries and participated in projects across the continent, Andrews has gained a deep understanding of the diverse socio-political landscapes in the region. Additionally, his global presence marked by speaking engagements at events in Hamburg, Germany, showcases his international perspective and influence. Beyond his professional achievements, Andrew's hobbies include drumming, playing the keyboard, and indulging in amateur golf. These interests reflect a well-rounded individual who values both intellectual pursuits and creative outlets. Overall, Andrews is a seasoned professional, an accomplished author, and a dedicated volunteer who has made significant contributions to various organizations and communities throughout his impressive 15-year career. He was named a Paul Harris Fellow in 2016 and has participated in 12 district training assembly and conferences, 6 West African Project Fairs, and 1 Rotary International Convention, Hamburg, Germany. He is currently the Vice President and Club Learning Facilitator of the Rotary Club of Accra East, and has himself undertaken 135 courses on the Learning Center so far. RP, Rotary Club of Accra-Spintex, I present to you our speaker, IPP Andrews Okotuwini. IPP Andrews, please, hear the floor. You may take over.
Thank you very much. Good evening, fellow Rotarians. RP, good evening to you. Notia Matthew, who anytime I hear him speaking, I get excited for 2 reasons. The kind of Ghana he speaks, I get to see that he's from a very typical aspect of in Accra, and I had a part of a snippet of his story at a point. I know that Ujeshun, but this is how far the Lord has brought you. Yes, good evening to you, fellow Rotarians. Today, I would want to share. I've been asked to speak on the subject, the role of Rotary clubs in national security. And before I begin, I want to say good evening to all Rotarian presidents on call, past presidents on call, individuals who have been a mentor to me and have been an inspiration to me in my both professional life and also in my Rotary life. I must be quick to add that my intention to apply to the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College was primarily for me to understand this particular thing that I'll be presenting to you today. I was asking myself a few questions, and today on one of our Rotary Club, on one of our WhatsApp platforms, I think PP Robbie indicated that the Rotary flag flies in more countries than the UN flag. when I see things like that, it gets me excited and I really want to know more. And I'm hoping that after this presentation, we'll get to appreciate why we are Rotarians and why we should do more. And in fact, when you pay your dues, you are not only paying your dues to offer community service, but you actually pay your dues to ensure that to ensure that your national security role as a Rotarian is concerned. Professionally, I'm a security analyst, by my focus lies based on maritime security issues, and but we'll delve deeply into that in the subsequent slides. My presentation will be focused on these six key areas. I'll be touching on a few things that are a bit academic, but I believe it will put a bit of perspective into what we are facing on the geopolitical landscape as we have now. And then I'll narrow it down into um, where Rotary, the role Rotary plays in it, and why Rotarians are the roles Rotary is playing, how it affects the whole national security architecture. I'll be looking at these 5 things as I indicated: the spaghetti bowl of African integration, and it's just a slide on that, the concept of national security, the principles or pillars of Ghana's 2020 national security strategy that we launched way back in 2020. We'll redefine national security, and then would now end with the role Rotarians are playing in ensuring national security. I would want to ask fellow Rotarians and guests on call, when we hear the word conflict, what comes into mind? And now, if you could put it in the chat box, I'll be most grateful. When you hear the word conflict, what comes into mind? I think there are some uh, 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 there are some devices that are not muted. I think Nana Jampoma Ekwa. Council, if you could please mute your device, we'll be most grateful. Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
I think the person who set up the Zoom should mute newcomers. That's how you set up.
Zoom moderator, if you could. Okay, it's been muted. Thank you very much, PP. So conflict. BJD indicates a disagreement, not being on the same page. IPP Suleiman from UPSA. Okay, when you hear the word conflict, what comes into mind? Okay, any more to ensure that you've not just joined the page and you are just relaxing or dozing off because it's a Sunday and I believe okay, fight. BJD also says fight. Okay, we'll move on to the next slide and we'll get to appreciate what it is. When you see these two pictures, which of these two pictures depict security to you? Is it picture A or picture B? Picture A, where you see a soldier possibly holding a rope, and you can put it in the chat box. You can put a message whether picture A or picture B. Which one depicts security to you? BJD says A. IP Solomon say A. Okay, CP A. Michael A. Okay. A. Retractor IPP Rashid from Tamale says A. Retractor Felicia says A. I believe my work is pretty much done. Then it looks like everybody is going for the A option. And let's explain for those who are thinking of choosing B but are not sure whether because everyone is going by the A option, they also have decided to remain silent. Which of these two depict picture A or picture B? We'll get a response at the end of the presentation. I want to touch on this slide, and I think it's something that has come up recently. Within the security space, we call it the spaghetti bowl of African integration. Essentially, it refers to the way African countries have decided to integrate themselves within the scope, the continent we find ourselves. If you look at this carefully, you will notice that recently we've had Burkina Faso, we've had Mali, and we've had Niger decoupling themselves from ECOWAS. Hitherto, they were part of ECOWAS. But if you look at it as it stands now, the Nigeria as the country holding the chairmanship as far as ECOWAS is concerned now, declared a stance against these three Sahel regions, and they were like, okay, they were going to invade one of them because there's been a coup in that area and they've unseated the democratically elected government and everything. But remember, the countries in question, i.e. Burkina Faso, and Mali and Niger, are not only part of ECOWAS, they are also part of a regional bloc which we know as UEMOA, essentially meaning the West Africa Economic and Monetary Union, i.e. taking into consideration all the French-speaking countries within West Africa. So even if ECOWAS as a regional bloc decides to take a stand against Mali or Niger, under the umbrella of the UEMOA, which is the West Africa Economic and Monetary Bloc, yes, ECOWAS is saying that no one should trade with this country. But they will tell you that, yes, they are respecting ECOWAS statutes, but they have another relationship with these people under UEMOA, which is the West African Economic Monetary Union, which doesn't bar them from trading with them. So they will continue trading with them anyways. This is one of the major challenges. But this slide actually speaks to where Rotary falls as an international organization. And within the geopolitical landscape, there are two main actors on the international front. We have what we call the state actors and we have the non-state actors. And I'm happy that recently most of our security institutions, including the national security, have they try to come out, but in a more careful way, because they are supposed to protect us, but we are not supposed to know how they are protecting us, but they are supposed to do their work anyway. We have what we call the state and non-state actors. The state actors are the countries, those who have a defined population, they have a defined geographical area. So you look at Ghana, US, Ukraine, you look at China and Russia. I intentionally brought these countries for obvious reasons. Obviously, without a shred of doubt, all these countries, even though they are state actors, depending on their economic might or the where they fall within the geopolitical space, they have command over how certain things are run. Recently, we know the Russia, the UN plays a search for the Russian President Vladimir Putin. But as we speak now, nobody has been able to arrest him, so to say, for obvious reasons. There's another segment of actors who all act within the international space. We call them the non-state actors, and they are divided into five major segments. We have the sub-state. The sub-states are not countries per se, they are individuals who, by virtue of their economic might, they are individuals who, by virtue of their economic might, can command a whole country to do something or a whole continent to do something in their favor. Example, we look at Alibaba. In the heat of the COVID-19, we had one gentleman, Alibaba, the founder, who came out and was like, he was distributing COVID vaccines for the whole continent in Africa. We know Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, every dollar we contribute, they triple it, and then we use that to end polio within in Ghana and other countries across the globe. Dangote, we know what he's doing. These are individuals, and sometimes when states want certain things done, they go through these individuals to get it done for them. We know obviously Alibaba is from China, so even if China wants certain things done, they will not come directly. They go to Alibaba. This is what we want. We will finance you in the background, and you can get to do what you have to do. But then you are acting as a sub-state. The second space under the non-state actors, we call them the international governmental organizations. These are blocks that are created that goes beyond national territorial spaces. So you look at the UN, you look at the World Trade Organization, and we have regional ones that comes after them. Example like the ECOWAS, the AU, and the other regional blocks as I indicated to you. I'll skip the NGO bit. I'll move on to multinational corporations. We call them the MNCs. Chinyoye, if you could please mute your device, we'll be most grateful. We look at multinational corporations like Toyota, Coca-Cola, Unilever, and Shell. These are organizations by virtue of their importance or how critical their role within the international front is. they are able to carry on certain activities that sometimes even the state actors are not able to do. In one of the African countries, I think sometime in 2016, Coca-Cola decided to stop the importation of their product into that country because the president in that country decided to go for another term. Okay, wanted to amend the constitution and go for a fourth term, a third term, so to say. And they threatened the president that if he does that, they'll stop the importation of Coca-Cola into that country, which made the president go back on his word and decided to hand over. The fourth one we refer to as the NGOs. That's the Rotary Club, the Lion Club, the Red Cross. These are non-governmental organizations, and because of their importance of the international role they play within the space, they are given that particular recognition. So you get the Rotary International president coming into the country, and almost every time he gets to meet the president. It's not because of anything, it's because it's a non-state actor, and the country as a state actor acknowledges that the importance of Rotary, the Rotary International president, is given a diplomatic pass once he comes into the country. Recently, we've seen certain organizations that are also budding up, like the West Africa Examination Council, that are given that international recognition. So anytime they come in, you even see, to the extent that you see some of their vehicles that are having diplomatic number plates with their flags on top of it and everything. These are some diplomatic things that individuals do and some countries do to ensure that the relationship with some of these people and some of these organizations is cordial. The last group, which may be a bit interesting, they are terrorist groups. Terrorist groups are also acknowledged on the international front. And for me, being within the maritime security sector, in the year we are in 2024, we are putting a report for 2023 together. In the year 2022, we had 155 piracy attacks within the Gulf of Guinea alone, which presupposes that on a weekly basis, we're having at least 2 to 3 piracy incidents within our waters as far as the Gulf is concerned. Of course, a number of them happen within the Nigerian space. So once we move to the major two trade hubs, the Suez Canal and the Cape of Good Hope, that's coming down from South Africa and sailing upwards towards the Gulf. These are things that are happening on a weekly, and those of us within this particular space, sometimes you can hardly get an 8 hour sleep in a week, because almost every time your phone will be beeping for you to ensure that you have to do or give some order of a sort, of course, if it goes beyond a particular threshold. Now, having in mind that this is where Rotary falls, that's under the non-state actor, and under NGO, Rotary falls within that space. Let's keep that at the back of our mind. And remember this very key thing within the international front, and as far as national security is concerned, we say one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. So you look at the president of Burkina Faso. Recently, one of our club members went there on a business trip, of course, and I asked him, "How is the country like?" And he's like, "Oh, everything is okay." We in Ghana are looking at the president of Burkina Faso as a terrorist, or so to say, as someone who has dethroned a politically elected government. But they, the citizens, are looking at him as a hero. He's come to liberate them. But as to whether he's a terrorist or he's a freedom fighter, it depends on which side of the political divide you actually stand. And as I indicated to you, moving on to the concept of national security, it's pretty much based on these 4 or 5 tenets, and I'll quickly run through them. It's the security of a nation state, including the economy, the institutions, which is regarded obviously as the duty of the government. And the national security is basically a framework for how a country provides security for both the state and its citizens. So you might want to ask, what role does Rotary play at all within this whole space? We are getting there. It was originally conceived as a protection against military attacks. But remember, as we stand now in the year 2024, and in fact, when the national security strategy was launched in 2020, it's decoupled, it watered down the whole national security architecture from just protection from military attack. And you are looking at things like crime, things like economic security, i.e., if individuals do not get jobs to do in a country, it's actually a national security threat. And these are things that some organization, terrorist group fester on or use as a basis to attack a particular country or incite individuals within a particular space. We're looking at environmental security, and I believe this is something which has started triggering some answers to these questions. Looking at food security, the former Minister of Agri decided to do food. I've forgotten the thing he food for planting for food and jobs, PFD. I think the current Minister of Agri, Brian, has decided to launch a phase 2 of it. These are things that these individuals are looking at, and they know that once there's food in the country, obviously individuals will not agitate about sending things. We look at health security, i.e. your national health insurance card working, and then ensuring that cybersecurity. Recently, the national security boss, I think, under the minister, Kanapa, issued something about some cyber attacks that has been currently unleashed on WhatsApp platform to be able to access certain things. And these are all things that the national security does. And it basically include the actions of other nation states, that violent non-state actors and narcotic cartels and multinational corporations, and effects of natural disasters. If you remember recently when the Akosombo Dam spillage thing came, it wasn't just organizations like Rotary and other benevolent organizations that were donating. We had the whole national security architecture deploy Navy personnel there with their vessels and things to ensure that individuals' lives and property is safe. So anytime some of these things happen, you should know that it's not just individuals or regular individuals that are going. And I want to quickly run through this. The principles of Ghana's national security strategy. We're looking at ensuring people-centered strategy, security, good governance and social cohesion, prevention, all-inclusive approach, human rights and the rule of law, and gender mainstreaming. I'd want to ask this question. From where you sit, do you think we are losing ECOWAS as we stand now? Do you sincerely think we are losing ECOWAS? Look at the picture on the left where we have Mali, where we have Burkina Faso. Of course, we all have friends there. I mean, recently when we had a division from decoupling from District 9102, where we split into 9103 and 9104. We have friends in Mali, I mean, from District 9100 even, where we had even up to Cape Verde, who, of course, we couldn't match recently in the AFCON. We had our own issues with them, but they used to be part of District 9100. Do you sincerely think that we are losing ECOWAS as it stands now? The answer may be yes, the answer may be no. But what role can Rotary play in the scheme of things as far as this is concerned? I want to quickly run through this. Largely, there are three levels of threats that confront every nation state. When I say a nation state, I mean a country. There are one domestic level threat, which something like fake news, hate speech, and indeed radicalization. Indeed, recently, I think sometime in 2021, 2022, we've had individuals within the universities being part of some terrorist organizations. And I must be quick to add, for those of us within the maritime security space, the individuals who work attack vessels and stuff like that, they're actually being paid pretty well. The least paid person in our last engagement we had was about $4,000 every single month for an individual. Okay, so these are things, radicalization, fake news, hate speech. The second level of threat is the regional level threat. Like I said, maritime security and piracy issues. There are things that countries actually have come together to address. In November last year, we had the International Maritime and Defense Exhibition at the Abema camp, where we had about 16 Chief of Navy staff who were coming together to come and address this particular issue as far as maritime security and piracy is concerned, extremism and terrorism, and the global level threats. You look at global fluctuations in the economy, geopolitical issues, uncertainties, proliferations, and weapons of mass destruction, as well as global terrorism. Indeed, I must be quick to add, we saw it coming. But as Rotarians, anytime we see certain things coming, then we need to start putting in place measures to start addressing them. And the current RP is someone who is into solar panels, and this whole thing about climate change he's championing. You can't have a conversation with him for 10 minutes without him asking you whether you have a solar panel. And it's real. Global warming, climate change, and all those things. It's actually happening. The District 9104 has decided to embark on a solar vaccine shelter for the district to ensure that certain health facilities come to the point where they are depending on solar to be able to store their vaccines. And in 2012, why I'm saying that we saw it coming, this issue about the Mali, Niger, and in fact Libya and Burkina Faso, we saw it coming. We saw drugs trafficking coming. But remember, these countries, there are still Rotary clubs there. So anytime I see that there's a coup in a country, I ask myself, how strong is the Rotary club in that particular country? Now let's look at it. I've been to Niger before. I've been to Burkina Faso before, and relatively the clubs there. I mean, those who have been there for the DTAC, I mean, they can attest to it. They are strong, but we need to do much more. In 2012, this was how the continent looks like. We had arms drug trafficking across Mali, the middle of Mali, somewhere Niger, the eastern part of Niger, also the southern part of and the northern part of Niger, as well as Libya. Rotarian Ketri, kindly mute your device, please. Right, thank you. In 2016, it moved on and it became a bit more. There, you saw a bit more of attacks within that particular those same Sahel regions. You saw some bombings, petty bombings in certain areas, people dying, individuals who were non-combatant, as we put it, losing their lives and all those things. Then it came into the returning of the jihadists back onto the continent again, and they realized that, oh, okay, the environment is being a bit conducive to host our terrorist activities within that particular space. And in 2019, we saw a bit of religious fundamentalism also going through the same Sahel regions, illegal immigrations within that particular space, weapon and drug trafficking, as well as some trade hubs were the areas in which these things were happening. So in 2019, when we saw this thing happen, for those within the particular securities, we were like, no, we need to pray. And individuals like my lecturer, the doctor at the Ghana Forces and Vladimir Trindanso, Dr. Vladimir Trindanso, as well as some from the Kofi Annan peacekeeping center, looked at it and were like, well, Ghana would have to pray. And then the World Bank report came describing certain hotspots and government intervention. You will notice that the red areas, the areas that are very red, are the areas that, all the blue signs are the areas where bits of political issues are happening, security issues are happening. And the quieter it is, it means that the government effectiveness in addressing that particular thing was a bit on a high. So we look at Ghana as a country, and that's why I focus on Ghana as a country. We're having a lot of those things, but the country and the security apparatus in this country was actually working effectively. And for those of us who think that our security agencies are not working, I beg to differ. They are working a lot. They are doing a lot that our eyes cannot see. You see a policeman, you see a military man, you see, of course, those within the national security space. You obviously do not see them because they are plain clothes. Majority.
I think our speaker's mic is muted.
Hello.
Hello, do you read me?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible, please?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. So our security services are doing a lot to ensure that the peace that we are enjoying in our country actually continues like it's continuing as we speak. From the western part of West through to the eastern part of Upper East, all right, we have military men that are lined up to ensure that what is happening in Burkina Faso doesn't come down. And for me, I've witnessed it firsthand. And when I say I witnessed in phase one, when I did my national service back in 2012, someone was actually stabbed behind our bungalow. And this was just a Mampusi man who had closed from church, a catechist, a Roman Catholic catechist who had closed and was just pushing his bicycle, and he came into the Kusasi area. He was buried under some interesting circumstances. And for me, being a Southerner, there were certain areas, obviously, hotspots that I obviously could not go. So for those who are calling for coup, I would say that you try and visit Boko for maybe a week or two. You probably would have a change in mind. The peace we are enjoying, let's continue enjoying it. Let's continue to establish more Rotary clubs we have. And now back to our reason for this evening's meeting. In 1994, the whole national security, before the 2020 security strategy was launched, the whole national security was redefined, the UN event. And we're like, okay, if we are looking at national security from just the protection of, showing who has more military might than the others, then we'll be looking at it from the wrong way. So they redefined it. And they were like, okay, national security now will be based on 7 major tenets. The very first one is economic security. Economic security, i.e., individuals having work to do, right? The second one is health security. That is the unhealthy lifestyles. When you have your national health insurance scheme, a card, you should be able to access healthcare at the basic, at the lowest amount possible. If it's free, even better. The third one is personal security, i.e., individuals would know that they can go home without the fear of someone pointing a gun at their head or pointing a gun at the head of their loved ones or their children. The fourth one is political security, making references that as far as human rights and dignity is concerned, irrespective of what political party you belong to, once there's a transition of power, nobody would come and attack you. As to whether it's what is happening in this country is also a discussion for another day. But based on what we've said, we are doing our best towards that, achieving that. The fifth one is food security. Individuals waking up every morning and knowing that they have food to eat. All right. The sixth one is environmental security, i.e., in case of any natural disaster, in case of any climate change or anything, the country as a nation state is there to protect them or provide them with the assistance that they need. The fifth one is community security. That yes, I'm from the north and I come to the south, or I'm in Kumasi, nobody will attack me because I'm not part of them or I'm not one of them. We hosted a gentleman from one of the media houses in our meeting about 2 weeks ago, and he indicated that, what happened in Rwanda, the Tutsis and the Hutus, it's a sight to behold. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have not been through an environment like that, you wouldn't want to experience it. So after this whole national security was redefined, they were like, okay, now national security will now be focused on a human security. And one US Secretary of State made mention of something, that the battle of peace largely has to be fought on 2 fronts. The very first one is the security front, where victory spells freedom from fear. That is the responsibility of our security agencies to ensure that we are not afraid. The second one, that is where victory actually comes in, is the economic and social front, where victory means freedom from want. So when you go into a community to drill a borehole because the government's resources is not enough, as to whether it's enough and they are not doing it, or it's not enough, that's also another question. A Rotary Club goes to a place to drill a borehole for them. You're actually playing a national security role, because those people in that particular community who needs that borehole will stop agitating to the government. Because when they even talk about it and they're like, oh, okay, even Rotary for no cry, do it mean the Rotary Club came to our aid when we called on the government for help? And he went on to say that only victory from both fronts can assure a world of an enduring peace. No provisions can be written in this charter whenever the Security Council make blah, blah, blah. And this is a statement from the US Secretary of State. So the first front, which means the freedom from fear, obviously, we cannot play that role because the role of the security agencies. But the second front, which is economic and social front, that is the responsibility of Rotary clubs. And ladies and gentlemen, fellow Rotarians, protractors and guests on call. If you look at these two things, juxtaposing it side by side, the economic security, the health security, the personal security, the political security, food security, environmental security, and community security, and you carefully analyze the Rotary's areas of focus, i.e., peace and conflict resolution, disease prevention and treatment, water sanitation and hygiene, maternal and child health, basic education and literacy, economic and community development, and the environment. These are all things that are directly speaking to the human security needs and the human security component. And indeed, by extension, even if you go into the object of Rotary, all right, and it says that the fourth one, the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace through a world fellowship and business and professional persons united in their ideal of service. These two things combined, which is the object of Rotary and the Rotary's areas of focus, directly sits on the human security agenda, which has been redefined as now the focus of national security. So if you look carefully, and even if you listen carefully to every political individual who comes out to the limelight to address any issue at all. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Rotarians, 9 out of 10 of the times will largely be talking about these 7 things. Either economic security, they are giving you work to do, health security, they're either building hospitals or something is working in the area of health, personal security, ensuring that you are safe irrespective of the time of the night, political security, that will not be vindictive irrespective of which political party that you belong to, food security, to ensure that you have food on your table. Recently, there was an index on Kinky Index, those who are a fan of CTFM, and they were doing an analysis of the whole Kinky and how it has increased in price and everything. Environmental security, that in case of a disaster, that political party will obviously come to your aid. And the community security. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll say that if you ask me tonight that what is the role of Rotarians in national security, I'll basically ask you to go back and read the areas of focus of Rotary and the object of Rotary. I want to say thank you for your time this evening. I hope I've been able to address the topic of the role of Rotarians in national security, and I would want to give credit to these individuals from some of which slides I used in here. Major General Kotia, Vladimir Findanso, Lieutenant Edwin Barnes, who is a retired Chief Director of the Ministry of Interior and a member of our club, Ghana's National Security Strategy 2020, UN.org, as well as Rotary.org. Thank you very much for your time this evening. Have a good evening.
Wow, 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 wow. What a delivery. PP Andrews Hussein, I'm blown away by this marvelous, extremely captivating, engaging, presentation. I think that your future is bright in politics. Thank you so much, sir, for a wonderful presentation. I'm sure that there are a lot of people on the call who might be interested in asking a question or two. If you are interested in a question, please. Okay, we already have CP Shika from the Rotary Club of Accra-Spintex. CP Shika, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much, RP. And as usual, my birthday mate never fails. Thank you very much, PP Andrews. Mine is just to find out from you. I know that the meeting was about Rotary clubs being effective within national security context within the West African zone. But is it possible to stretch that continentally? Because the other day I saw a video with the African Union conference going on now. And we have the representatives of Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, and the fourth one, I can't remember now, who are not there because they have been expelled, so to speak. But then the colonial masters are there attending that meeting. So is it possible that we can extend the Rotary activities continentally so that together we'll see what we can do continentally instead of just limiting it to the West African region? Thank you very much.
PP Andrews, do you want to react to the question? Are there any more questions? Please raise your hand so you can ask your question. Hello, PP Andrews, are you there? Okay, return our guy, I see your hand up. Can you please ask your question?
RP, let's find out if PP Andrews is on. Maybe his mic is off or he has a challenge. Thank you.
RP, fellow Rotarians on the call, good evening. I hope my IPP is back on the call.
I don't think he's on the call, but I think that you should still ask the question.
Okay. My question may be just a comment. As we are talking about Rotary being, what is our role when it comes to issues of peace and peace building? When we are talking about countries like Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, where they are having issues in terms of peace, the question I may ask as Rotarian is, what have we done as Rotarian to support not only Rotarians in those countries, but those countries at large? It's as if we have not been strong enough to mobilize our efforts and make Rotary felt. Rotarians there also have not been able to really organize any strong action. And during the last convention, it was even one of the comments I made when I had the opportunity to meet the RI president. But in the answers that I got when I made that comment is, if you are suffering and nobody knows that you are suffering, then nobody will come to your aid. Because I compared the situation, the humanitarian situation in Niger at that time, where we were having more than 2 million internally displaced people, people who could not have where to stay. They left their home. They were under very difficult living conditions. And when anybody should go there with food and you see people fighting for food, we see that they've lost even what we call human dignity. But facing these challenges as Rotarian on the continent, we've not been able to really affirm our presence, and RI or Rotary International, the same way we were able as Rotary to create a fund to support Ukraine, and many Rotarians have been at work to support there. Nothing as such has been done just next to us. Maybe this should bring us to think, and to think about how we may have more impactful action while thinking about international projects. Thank you.
Thank you very much, RP Oga, for the salient points just made. Really, really very much appreciated. I think that we have Esperance Chenukwo's hands up. Could you please make your submission? Thank you. Esperance, you have the floor.
I think her microphone is not activated yet, so I doubt if she can hear us.
Okay, so PP Andrews, you are back. We lost you for a minute.
Yes, you did. I didn't get the last part of CPC's question, but to provide a bit of highlight to, I got a little bit of it, a CPC's question. On the international front, I think largely if we appreciate our role, just like I showed in the earlier slide, if we appreciate our role on where we fall on the international front as far as an international actor, then we can actually begin to act like a non-state actor. Indeed, as we stand here today, anytime something happens in the European countries, they are able to come together, amalgamate their efforts, and then address that issue as maybe Rotary Club of Great Britain. All right. Now, ask ourselves, as an African continent, we today, as it stands now, we know we are a non-state actor, and we command as much as authority as, say, the Dangotes, the Alibabas, the international governmental organization, the UN World Trade Organization, the World Trade Organization, and then or a multinational corporation. So if something is to happen, or what is currently happening in Niger, Rotary clubs in District 9103, 9104, 9105 can come together and issue one direct communique to whoever is on that particular front. If it's a humanitarian aid too, we can also come together as a Rotary clubs in Africa, and then address that particular issue. If we have to apply to the Rotary International Foundation for whatever resources is needed to champion that particular cause, then we would have to do it. But it obviously has to do with a united front. We need to present that. If we're able to amalgamate our efforts in that particular space, there's a subtle thing that would happen, which is that because these same individuals as Rotarians are all citizens of a country, so it would somehow inadvertently make us come together and be united as one African continent to be able to champion other causes too outside of just humanitarian aid. That's my question. My top up to what my president RP Oga indicated. And on CP's request question, I'll be grateful if you could take it again or any other questions so that I can address it if possible.
Thank you very much, PP Andrew. CP Shika, if you are still on the call, could you please ask your question again?
Yes, I am. Mine is somewhat like what PP Oga has just indicated. I just wanted to know that the meeting today, we're talking about Rotary Club's effectiveness within the national securities, within the ECOWAS region mainly. But then I wanted to find out what we are doing continentally, not even globally, continentally. Because at the recent African Union conference, it was a summit, the four African countries who have been expelled were not there, but their colonial masters, France, were there. So, like you're saying, Rotary, we need to put our acts together, but there's always that but. Can we interfere in national security issues? Do our mandates get that far? That's what I wanted to know. Thank you very much. If you can't answer, because I know it's a bit tricky, but
yeah, indeed, it's a bit tricky. And on the call now, I see some national security people on the call. I can't obviously mention names, but I'm sure they are listening to me, and they've taken the cue from what you said. But I think generally, when I was making the presentation, there are two fronts on the national security space. There are two things. The very first one is where security is victory from fear, right? The second one is economic and social front, all right? Anytime a country is destabilized, whether it's been a coup or something, there's one thing that you always notice, that they always are allowed for humanitarian aid to come in there, right? So irrespective of how chaotic that particular region or destabilized, they will allow for food, they will allow for water, and they will allow for medicines. These three things will always go, all right? So they know we have something we call the laws of war or the rules of war, that even if you are at war with someone and you maybe catch an enemy combatant, someone who is actually a soldier, a good case in point, Russia and Ukraine. If the Ukrainians arrest maybe a Russian soldier, they have no they cannot torture him. Obviously, US has its own thing. They call it extreme interrogation techniques instead of torture, and they'll defend themselves at the UN with that particular phrase in quote, extreme interrogation technique, waterboarding, and all sorts of things. They have no beef with you, if I'm allowed to use that word, than to ask you of your name and your rank. When they ask you of your name and your rank, it's their responsibility. That's the rule of war, the rules of war, governing war on both sides, and they know it. When they ask you of your name or your rank, they are responsible for paying your salary from the time they arrested you to the time that they'll release you. If they do not do that, because their people will also be arrested by the Russians, obviously. Now, when they arrest them, they also do not have they can't torture the opponent, the enemy, so to say, the Ukrainians. But they have to pay the salary of the person from the time they arrested the person to the time that will eventually. But ask yourself, do they actually do that? That's also another thing for another day. If they fail to do that, they can also kill children, they can't kill women, they can't kill non-combatants. Even if the person is a guy and is not a threat to you, the soldier, and you kill the person, you can be arrested for crimes against humanity and the like. But to the extent that we have a role to play economically and socially, yes, Rotary can put its foot down and then obviously diplomatically find its way of getting to the heart of these people and ensure that peace prevails. So we have a role to play, a subtle role for that matter, which is also critical in the scheme of things, because like I indicated, every person who rises to the level of governance or whatever is happening with Mali, Niger, and they all want the good for their people. Okay, and if they want the good for their people, and that's where Rotary actually comes in. We also want to provide you with economic security. We want to provide you with social security. Okay, we want to drill the boreholes that we want. We want to provide the shelter that we want. We want to provide the books and then the furniture in the communities that you actually want. You want your people to be educated very well. So on that tangent, yes, Rotary can actually go into that particular, use that particular thing, and then find a way of it. As to why the people who have been expelled, remember, they've been expelled, they were expelled from the ECOWAS to the best of my knowledge. As to their presence is not going for the UN, I think it's a decision on their own to either honor the UN invitation or not to honor the UN invitation. I remember every country is a sovereign nation on its own. All right. So you there's an extent to which you can control what goes on in that particular country. Obviously, when another country, which is a superpower, has economic interest in your country, they can find a way of bulldozing their way through, even if you prevent them from coming into your country. So Rotary, from where I sit, can simply play that particular role, and like RP Oga indicated, find a way of bringing individuals to the table to address the issue on a collective front. Thank you.
Thank you very much, PP Andrews. PPLE, I see your hand up. Would you like to make your submission, please?
Yes, thank you very much, PP Andrew, the Rotarian president. I think Africa is a zone.
You have to charge it if you're under this office.
The Rotary clubs in Africa come together as one, and we are a zone 22. But we don't hear much of the zone. We don't see the zone acting that much. I think situations like this, like the coup d'etats in Africa and all, especially in Western Africa and so on, Rotary Zone 22 can actually come together and act on behalf of all the clubs in Africa, because if we want individual clubs to spearhead that kind of agenda, it won't work as much as when the zone steps forward. Thank you. That's just my contribution.
Thank you very much, PPLE, for the question and submission. Sorry. Are there any more questions? I was trying to see if we could put some questions in the chat box. In the absence of that, PPLE. Yes.
Happy. There's a
Yes.
comment in the chat box. I think Chinyoye is asking for a copy of representation. I'll send a copy to you right after this meeting so that you can share with your members. If you may.
Right. Thank you very much. That would be very helpful. I was actually also looking forward to asking that question as well. But PP, in the absence of any questions, PPLE, are you still on the call?
Yes, I'm here.
Would you be kind enough to give a vote of thanks for this wonderful presentation, please?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Trump President. Fellow Rotarians and guests, before I do the needful, there's a comment here that is asking if we can have a copy of this presentation. Yes, we are going to upload this recording on YouTube, and so we'll make it available on the district platform so that you can play back. Thank you very much. Return Andrews, PP Andrews, thank you very much. I'm sure that everyone on this call has benefited one thing or the other from your presentation. I want to say that your presentation was precise, straight to the point, and it wasn't boring at all. I couldn't, rise up because I wanted to pay attention to every slide, every comment that you made. And so we want to say on behalf of the Rotary Club of Accra-Spintex, we want to say a very big thank you for taking time to do this presentation to the Rotary Club of Accra-Spintex and all the clubs that are joining us. Thank you very much and God bless you. And those of you who are asking for the presentation, once we get it, we'll share it on the district platforms and for all to benefit. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rotarian Ellie. But I think that being that this is a very beautiful presentation, and also in Rotary, we do silly fines. I want to use this opportunity as the president, the 12th president of the Rotary Club of Accra-Spintex, to fine everybody on the call a small amount of 10 cedis. So if you can display, Rotarianly, if you can display our Momo number, I'll be very, very happy, so that we can use this as an opportunity to to bless this occasion, as it were. For those who are not, very much conversant what silly fines are. Silly fines are some of the things we do in Rotary, just make fun and, generate some revenue as well for clubs. So please, the Momo number is
Arfi. Arfi.
I think we've lost him.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh,
I just wanted
he's on the call.
Okay. Arfi. Okay, I just wanted his permission to extend everyone on the calls condolences to PP Andrews, who lost a father, and the burial will be soon. So PP Andrews, on behalf of all of us, kindly accept our sincere condolences on the loss of your dad. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, CP Ska, for your thoughtful words. I'm most grateful, both on call and off call.
Since we cannot reach our president, CP Shika, could you please take over and continue to host the meeting for us?
The vice president is on call. Anyway,
okay. Please go
I
ahead.
Yeah, I think PP RP Noche had asked all of us to donate a small amount of 10 cedis to as a city fine. So since the Momo number has been displayed, if everybody could do that, we'll be very, very grateful. On that note, can I call the sergeant? No, before that, all the clubs that are here, visiting clubs, please, do you have any announcements for us? If you do, kindly raise your hand so that you can make your announcements. Thank you.
Thank you very much, CP Shika. I lost the connection for a minute there. And thank you so much for holding it down. Amazing. Rotary or Hiniba, I see your hand up. Can you please go ahead with your announcement?
Thank you very much, RP. Thank you very much, IPP Andrews, for the presentation. Just a quick one from Tishinungwa. So on Tuesday, next Tuesday, we are spending time with our charter project beneficiaries at the Teshin Technical Training Institute. The flyer has delayed a bit, but it will come out tomorrow. Please do join us to spend some time with the final year students of the Tessin Technical Training Institute, just to spend time with them, checking on them, and take some sort of Q&A in terms of the corporate world, what they should expect in their various vocations after school. So please do join us. It's in the morning at 9:30 a.m. work hours. 9:30 a.m. for just an hour, 9:30 to 10:30. Thank you very much. Look out for the flyer tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Rotarian Ohimba. I promise to be there on Tuesday. Rotarian Biggles, I see your hand up. Could you please proceed with your announcement?
Thank you, Alfie. This is from Rotary Club of Tema. We are also having the Assistant Electoral Commissioner on Tuesday, who is speaking on the topic
Mr. Majoy.
in safeguarding our democracy, promoting peace and stability. Ours, please, is also a physical meeting at the Rotary Center, Community 5. Yeah, please inviting all Rotarians to pass by. And we are hosting it with the Rotary Club of Tema Meridian. You are all invited to come and have an insightful meeting. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll try to be there, and others are encouraged to join as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Rotarian Ohimba, your hand is still up, or is it the old hand that was up? Okay. All right. I also want to announce again about the upcoming beach cleaning exercise. Encourage all clubs on call to consider seriously being part of this wonderful first-time event, mechanized cleaning of the beach and planting of coconut trees on the shorelines of the Maritime University, which is coming on the 23rd of March. So please save the date, reach out to us. CP Shika, who is the chair of the, who is the services project chair, is available for engagement. Promises to be a very, very wonderful thing. So please, don't hesitate to be part of it. Rotarian Podo, can we please have, do we have attendance ready?
Yes, the RP, yes, please. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. RP, today I would like to seek for your permission to tweet the attendance, because if I should mention names, we had a lot of Rotarians, and for the sake of Rotary time, I would like to just summarize all. So I want your permission to go ahead with that.
Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much, RP. So today we had 9 members from Rotary Club of Accra-Spintex making 34.6%. And then we have 38 visiting Rotarians from different Rotary clubs. We have 14 visiting Rotaractors. Also, so in all, we are 58. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the attendance. Are there any other announcements at all? Rotary, your hand is still up. Is it the old hand?
Sorry, Happy, it's a legacy hand. Sorry, I'll drop it now.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. In the interim, do we have? Hello, CP Shika, can you please depart us on the call?
No, I'm here, but I thought the treasurer would give us a statement of the account, but in case he's not ready.
Well, I am.
Okay. All right, then please go ahead before I depart.
Okay. Thank you very much, fellow Rotarians. We have Nana Hima being the first to donate to us. Give us 20 PP Ampere. Thank you. Sleepy Shika. Thank you. Richard Adro. Thank you. And Befi Benjamin. Thank you also. We have a total of 90 Ghana cedis as donations. Fine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. CP Shika, please go ahead and depart us.
Okay, Arpi, thank you very much. Fellow Rotarians and guests, I presume everybody has a bottle, a glass, a container of something in front of him or her. Kindly raise it and let's drink a toast to Rotary International and to Rotarians wherever they may be. I saw a lot of Rotarians from other countries, but unfortunately I didn't take note of it. So, Liberia, and I think there was Nigeria as well. Yeah,
Kenya.
So let us bring a toast to Rotary International and to Rotarians wherever they may be. Thank you.
To Rotarians wherever they may be.
Rotarians wherever they may be. Yes.
It was nice seeing you, Rotarian Phyllis. It's Quiddy, are you still there?
PPLA, I'm here.
Oh, nice.
So, did we receive any donations in USD?
Did you make any? Thank you,
Okay.
Abigail Siao. I got your Momo. My phone is big, so it has space.
It's Rotarian Bagels, please.
Oh, Bagels. I miss you.
I miss you too. You know I always miss you.
I know, right?
all this missing calls for a final. RP Noche, over to you.
I'm here, Madam.
I miss you too.
And too many missing, so they should send some Momo.
We'll pay in pounds, don't worry.
That's right. Oh,
no, I beg for security issues, we need the money in CDs, so just send it to CDs. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
PP Irene, do you know that Rotarian Ali is in the UK? Okay, he's gone. All right.
Greetings, everyone. Bye. Nice meeting.
Please introduce yourself before you go.
Oh, okay. I'm Rotarian Franklin from the Rotary Club of Cinco, Liberia.
Oh. Welcome to Ghana.
Rotary Club of Cinco, I've fellowship with you a number of times, 2020, just before COVID.
Yes, I think I remember.
Yes. I've been there. Anytime I'm in Liberia, I used to sleep in the hotel where you have your meetings.
Yes, that's Corina Hotel.
How is PAG
Corona,
Augustus?
Yes.
How is
So I
PAG
just,
Augustus?
so I just transitioned to Rotary. So
Yeah, happy to have you here.
How is
That's my
PAG
club.
Augustus in
he's
Cinco?
fine. He's
Oh,
fine.
okay.
He's doing well. He's doing well.
Mhm.
All right.
Right.
Thank you. I would like to join your meeting some other time when you're having. Is your meetings every Saturday?
Every Sunday.
Sunday.
Oh,
Same
today is
time.
Sunday afternoon. Sorry. Okay, every Sunday. Okay, that's beautiful. I'll try. I'll try and join the meeting next.
Hey, can we stop the recording now, please?